Hey, what's up? Gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It's Monday, July 8th and it's 3:42 in the a.m. And, I want to kind of highlight a couple of things that, you know, I got into over my vacation. One, I dove a little bit deeper into all facets of gospel music. And sometimes I post songs that sound a little bit country. I'm an audiophile. I love all music, and I listen to it all. And my folks, who I love dearly, the side of the family that I identify with heavily is the maternal side of the family. And my grandparents loved bluegrass. I refer to them as the hillbillies because they did some things that were straight up country. And I am a New Yorker to my marrow. That's where I was born and raised. So, some of the country stuff got on my nerves. But I loved watching them enjoy their music. And my grandma always talked about, a dance. And I knew she knew nothing about the dance other than, she was exposed to other family members because my grandma was, I want to say, basically a hermit. And she was the baby of the family. And she grew up in church. So what she knew about dancing, I don't know. But she always talked about the buck and wing, And she taught me a bit of the buck and wing. Again, I don't know how she learned it. So that being said, I listen to a bunch of different genres of gospel music. And I heard the song today. I've heard it, before, but today it just hit different. And I really, really listened to the lyrics. And it's deep. It made me really think about, my opening video for today is what does God sound like? It made me think about what was spoken to me. Amen. It says, I know who I am because I know who you are. The cross of salvation was only the start. Now I am chosen, free and forgiving. I have a future and it's worth the living. Because I wasn't made to be tending a grave. I was called by name, born and raised to life again. I was made for more. So why would I make a bed in my shame when a fountain of grace is running my way? I know I am yours and I was made for more. When we hear, I was made for more, I think about how we like to yell, I don't deserve this, or I deserve this. And I always pose the question, what makes me think that I am entitled to anything? And, this was a hard life lesson for me, growing up. So grew up, I'm not going to put any kind of sweetness on it. We grew up poor, We have some cute terms for that now. Food insecurities, unhoused. And that's based on that American dream, work ethic, Horatio Alger, pull myself up by my bootstraps kind of mentality. That has never been a reality. It's been a great lie that we bought into. If you look at the history of this country, there are very few self-made anythings. A lot of it required rejection. A lot of it required, being spit upon, being beaten, being challenged, being taken, And that's that mindset of capitalism. That's that mindset of ooh, dare I say it, the American dream. See, how do you reconcile that with, here we go, I'm going to get political for a minute, a Christian nation when it's based on, materialism and one-upmanship? What about that says Christian? I want you to think about that for a minute. Yeah, I posted a story yesterday about 3 different burial sites. One for veterans, one for Jews, and one for African Americans. The only one that is desecrated, decimated, and I want to say I'm disgusted by it, is the African American cemetery. Their bodies still in the ground, and some corporation or some company decided to sell the land. Nobody knows what happened to the majority of the bodies. I know some of them were moved, but there are still bodies there. And what stands there now is a building that says that the cemetery used to be there, and 2 huge billboards. So you desecrated a sacred area, sacred ground, moved bodies, dug up bodies while you were putting in these signs. With impunity. If you really want to look, if you want to open your eyes to the realities of the situation, there is no value placed on the lives of people of color. And they're still disputing whether or not our history is even worth discussing when, the majority of this country was built on our backs. And you're saying, what does this have to do with the gospel? There's slavery mentioned in the Bible. Different time, different circumstances. I want to be mindful of that as well. Different time, different circumstances. To deny people their language, to deny people their history, to deny people their, practices, that's a form of oppression, and we're happy to perpetuate it. I don't care if you climb a tree and call yourself an acorn. I'm going to ask, if you love God, I'm going to ask you why you love God, and I'm going to look at how you treat your fellow man. Amen. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to be about it. Back to this line in the song, because I wasn't made to be tending a grave. That's my grave, or the grave of anybody else who was willing to learn, willing to listen, and most important, willing to love. Amen.